Hey, what's up, turtles? Krik here with Blackout Outdoors. In the past, we've done a decent amount of videos on how to tie certain types of knots. And in those videos, we've pretty much exclusively used synthetic ropes or cord. And I want to get away from that because I want to start using natural material for a few different reasons. But there are a few things to consider when you're using a natural type of rope in the forest. Like I said, for using a natural rope, you have to do a couple sort of maintenance things that you don't, or you have to do differently if you're using synthetic. And that basically means taking care of the end of the rope or whipping the rope. I'm gonna cut off that for now and show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is some manila rope, which is a natural material, and it's related to the edible bananas that we all know and probably eat. And I believe the genus is Musa. You can see this as a twisted type of rope, 3 strands right here. And while you can use this without addressing the end of this, eventually this is just going to completely come unfrayed and you're going to lose length of your rope or cord. So what you do is you whip the end of this. And I can't take a lighter and sort of singe this like you would with paracord because it's a natural material. So we need a second piece of string or rope to address this. Here's just some waxed synthetic thread that I use for my leather, which I'm going to use today because I think it'll offer a little bit better contrast on the rope itself. And this is some jute twine. You could use this as well, but today we're going to use the waxed synthetic thread. To get started, we're going to take our piece of string right here, and we're going to take one end and double it on itself till you get something like this. Right? Then I'm going to make it smaller, pinch it on itself, pinch it a little bit tighter. You have something that looks like that. I'm going to put this then on top of the end of the rope while maintaining that loop. And it's really not super imperative for this application of what I'm going to be using this for, but you might want to keep in mind of the direction the rope is being twisted and sort of wrap or whip in the opposite direction, which should and will just help it keep a little bit tighter. So here we go. We got our loop right there on the end. I'm going to turn it around because I want to wrap the opposite direction which it's set. Take my long line, my long end right here, and this is going to be our working end. I'm going to take that, go over this end right here. It's stationary. Go around it once. I took that, go around it once, sort of pinch that in place, and then just continue to wrap now in this direction down. And a general rule of thumb is whatever the diameter of the rope you're whipping, you want to make sure your whip or what you're wrapping is at least the same diameter. And I always like to go a little bit more than 1 to 1. I usually like to go 1.5. And we'll do that, and that'll be my last wrap. So what we're left with is this loop right here that we created in the beginning and our working end. I'm going to take my working end, put it through the loop, pull it the whole way through, okay? And then I'm going to take the end that we left on this side of the rope to begin with as well, and I'm going to start pulling that underneath. And what that did, it kind of happened quick, but basically this end is pulling that loop small, and right there, you can sort of see it right there. Our working end got pinched, pull this end, and basically what I'm doing now is I'm pulling that loop underneath our wraps, and I'm going to try to stop it right when it's sort of in the center. You know, pay attention to here, you'll see that loop disappear. See, I'm trying to go slow and keep it in frame. Keep pulling that until it's about good. Essentially what I've done now is just create this wrap that's nice and tight, neat on itself. I'm going to do that one more time, and what I can do is just pull this out now from this way. And this wax thread really is nice and it works well, but it also makes it a little bit more difficult to undo, which is great. And I'm basically just undoing what I did because I want to take this apart and show you one more time. There we go. Pull that through, and now I'll just unwrap that and I'll show you one more time. All right, let's do this one more time. Take our string, rope, whatever you're going to use to be whipping, whip the end of this rope, make a loop, Lay this now on the end of our rope. This is really easy in principle to understand once you understand like the basics, because there are multiple ways to do this, but this is just the easiest way I found that I like to do, and it's more than effective. And once we have our loop on there, we're going to take our working end then, start wrapping around. Pinch that, sort of wrap on itself again to sort of secure that first wrap. And you want to make sure this is nice and tight, and you can sort of dress it up at the end before you pull the loop through, or you could just do it all while you're wrapping it, keeping it nice and tight and sort of even, keeping the wraps tight on themselves, not a lot of gaps between them. And like I said before, just keep going till you're about 1 or 1.5 the diameter of the rope that you're doing this to, and that's about good right there. I'm happy with the amount of wraps. Now I want to take my working end, put that through the loop, pull that tight for now, and go slow at first. I'll try to go slow, and you'll see that loop start to get smaller. There you go. And pull the working end a little bit tighter. Pull that loop till it gets tight right there. Make sure that's tight again. And now at this point, I'm pulling the loop underneath our wraps to about right in the middle. I'll try to do this slow and consistent so you can see it disappear. There we go. All right, I'll call that good. There we go. Now we can just trim this up. And you can trim the rope as well. That's not too bad. There's really not that much hanging off, but I'll do it anyways. Trim it down a little bit neater. There we go. Nice and clean and neat. So that's really all there is to it. It's really simple and it's nothing new, but I really like this method I showed you just because it's a little bit easier than the other ones I've tried in the past. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I want to start using more natural materials for my rope and my cord and string. So that's why I wanted to do this video first, to sort of give the introduction that you're probably going to see more knot videos using a natural material, because they just hold that much better than a synthetic, or at least paracord. Because paracord's, the outer tube is so tightly woven that there's really no friction when you're doing knots and hitches, so you get a lot of friction with the natural material. If there's anything, any other techniques that you like for whipping the end of a rope, let me know, leave a comment. Anything I didn't go over that wasn't super obvious, let me know. Again, leave a comment. If you like the video, thumbs up, because it lets my brother and I know that you like the content and you appreciate what we're doing. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.